Welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler, here with Johnny. Johnny, what's going on?
Oh, not much, Tyler. Just ready to talk about some video games with you today. Just saw you in Vegas. Very nice. You and Mr. Michael Chiramani, clear of us. So, a nice little getaway for me.
And my wife, don't forget about her.
Oh, it's true. I also saw your wife, who I was very excited to talk to.
Did you three get sick and I didn't?
I don't know if Michael got sick. I think he was fine. I know your wife got sick, and yeah, I got a little bit sick, but we're hanging in there.
I'm doing great, Johnny. We came back from the greatest city on the face of the earth,
the
Las
worst,
Vegas.
The worst. Vegas is trash.
First time I've ever gone there and got completely smoked gambling. I was never up more than $50 the entire trip, but the hiking was great. The shows were great. I finally saw Cirque du Soleil Mystère, which, fun fact, Yuji Naka has said in an interview was the direct inspiration for Nights into Dreams. If by direct inspiration you mean vaguely weird circus things are happening, then I guess it was a direct inspiration, because that's all I really saw in it. I was expecting to see like a jester or something, but no, it's just like cool circus stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. But hey, you did it. You saw it. Congratulations.
I know it's cliche to say. I think it's getting a little bit expensive in Vegas. I think next time we're going to Reno, Johnny.
All right,
Same
I like
hiking.
Reno.
They're not going to charge me $40 a day to park when I need a car.
Man, Vegas sucks. Reno is only slightly better. The people are older and a little sadder, so that's what you're into.
I love the sadness. My favorite part is just walking the strip, like especially that 3 to 4 a.m. One of the highlights of my trip was walking through the Excalibur food court. Excalibur, if you don't know, like one of the lowest end hotels on the Vegas Strip. And there was a couple there sitting with an unopened bottle of wine from Walgreens, not talking to each other. And I'm like, whatever is happening there, it is great. I'm living for this Monday night sadness.
I'm sorry, what now? You're living for this?
I'm living to feast on the sadness of people just like dead-eyed, sitting at slot machines, putting in hundreds, just betting $6 at a time. You know how I just like really sad and hopeless movies? Like, being in Vegas is like living that when you look around. It's awesome.
Yeah. And you said Monday night sadness. Were you like making a Lana Del Rey reference as well? Like, were you trying to do that, or?
I don't know who Lana Del Rey is.
Okay, just making sure. Because
okay.
She has a summertime sadness song and it would hit the same beats. So I was just curious. It just seemed like something you wouldn't do. So I just wanted to make it clear that you weren't.
That's very true.
Yeah. So you had fun though, or was it just too much?
Johnny, I always have fun in Las Vegas. It's the best.
But you're like, well, I'm going to Reno now.
Well, I mean, it's just like, I've seen like every show. I've been to every casino. I've kind of seen a lot of Vegas. I know it changes all the time, but I've been there like a dozen times. Maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in Reno too, you can also pop right up to Tahoe, which is nice.
Yeah. Like it's got the same hiking. Landscape. I'm all about the landscape. I love the desert, dude. It was 100 degrees there. I almost died. Learned a lot about heat stroke. Turns out, even if you're carrying like 6 liters of water on you, like you'll still just die of heat stroke if you're just too hot. Like water doesn't save you. I didn't know that until this time.
Until you almost died?
Yeah. I'm just like, if I bring enough water, I can't die. How can you die when you have water? It turns out sometimes it's just like literally too hot to be walking with zero shade. People in the West probably know that. Me, where there's only trees over here on the East Coast, I did not know that.
I'm glad you and Ada had a nice vacation, but yeah, probably changing up is good. And, you can do some hiking out here if you want that same kind of landscape. We'll, at the sleepover, I'll set up some hiking time for you.
Okay. Inside reference right there. Also, Hilton Alara, like the nicest hotel I think I've ever stayed at for 2 people. I've stayed in like these suites for like 6 to 10 people that are like ridiculous, but it's just a 2-person suite. Guys, Vegas, Hilton Alara. Super nice. All right, Johnny, you want to talk about complete box video games?
I do. But first I want to talk about the phrase, the abbreviation CIB and why it's ruined collecting.
Yeah, cart insert box, because there's no such thing as a disc, so it's just cart instructions box.
And everything just comes in a box, not everything. Some things come in cases, though, right? It's a case is just a box,
So
I guess.
exclusively for the TurboGrafx 16, we're allowed to say CIC, which is complete in case. But for some reason, when you go to like PlayStation, it's back to complete in box.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't matter. So it's a box. So, but this one comes in a box, but then has a case. It's just they didn't know what to do.
I'm going to go, hold on, I'm going on eBay. I'm going to look for PlayStation CIC. Does anyone use CIC?
Someone does by mistake, I'm sure.
Oh my goodness. There's like people with like PS2, PS5, like a very small amount of people, but they're like, yeah, CIC. Some of them don't even say CIB on them. They just say CIC. These are like the people that are like, no, I'm going to do it correctly. If no one else does it, I don't care. I'm going to say complete in case. It's a PlayStation game.
Or they didn't know.
Or they didn't know. Like, is that what the music people do? I'm seeing a lot of Elite Finds LLC and GSLM SU Rules. Those guys really like CIC.
And like I know action figures have their own lingo. And like the problem is like some of these things they just get ported over from other hobbies or, you know, I used to see games listed as MOC. Did you ever see that?
What? There's no card. What are you talking about? It's a mint on card, but
yes,
that makes no sense.
You're like, no, what are you talking about? So like, but sometimes things come over, but I think CIB, they wanted like that translation from like, cause MOC was a very clean way to say, you know, mint on card. They're like, oh, CIB. And then this confusion in the world happened where people are like, yeah, it means cart instruction and box, not complete in box. But then, yeah. Anyways, and I wonder if people think it means, you know, CD instructions case.
No, shut up. That is the worst backronym.
I don't know, but it's the problem is there's confusion and these words have no consistency and it's not okay. And also what people think, like, so if you have a cart instruction box, people are like, my game is complete. It's CIB. It's complete. It's cart instruction. Like they'll just give you a sentence like that and you'll want to die inside, especially because your game probably isn't complete if it's just the cart instruction and box. I'm just telling you.
I have heard people say that CIB is like the initials for cart instructions box and then complete means actually complete. But I think even more prevailing than that, I see more people saying like just say CIB when it's actually complete.
Yeah. And how many times have you seen listings on eBay where they list it as CIB and it's missing a manual? And also, sometimes we call the book a manual, so that doesn't help either.
Yeah, I mean, well, now you could look on eBay for anything and it'll just show you any results, so it doesn't matter. You search for CIB, they'll show you whatever. Yeah,
if you look for CIB Nintendo games, you're going to find, like, mint on card Star Wars figures, so that's cool. It's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, eBay search sucks. In fact, Tyler, I did a quick search today, and I was, I think I showed you this picture. I was looking for Tecmo Super Baseball. That might be a spoiler. So I just type in Tecmo Baseball SNES. I should get a lot of results for that. I think it's a fairly common game. I got one result. Seems unlikely to me.
You didn't even type in like complete. You just typed in Tecmo Baseball NES.
Baseball SNES. I kept it very brief. I wanted to see everything. One hit. So I'm like, I wonder how stupid the eBay search is right now. So I went and I edited my search to Tecmo Super Baseball SNES. I got 73 results.
That doesn't seem right.
No.
You can't add words to get more results.
No, that's usually not how that works. No minuses, just like a basic search, no parentheses, no Boolean bullshit. Tyler, eBay is still garbage. People are like, oh, they fixed it. They got a lot better. No, dude, this sucks. eBay, if anyone can reach out to eBay, please stop it. This is horrible. I'm buying less stuff, not more stuff because of this.
Oh, I'm buying less stuff just because I'm done and I have discipline, Johnny.
Yeah, sure. And that's kind of the point of this episode. You're getting done, right? Tyler, you're done.
I mean,
You're
not
completely
really.
done with everything.
I've got to
You're
make a
done.
lot of stuff a lot nicer. I don't even have a good list of every game I own, Johnny. I got a lot to do.
That's part of our what we want to talk about a lot on this season of Collector's Quest. We don't actually have seasons; we just have running episodes. But I like to think of this as a season where we're talking about just making your games a little bit better, and that's what we're going to do today, Tyler. We're going to talk about some inserts that you probably don't have because you probably bought it CIB, and somebody lied to you on the internet, or you didn't know because there's also not a super great list of all the inserts that come in games. And inserts also aren't completely consistent across every release of a game, and you may not even know that a game has multiple releases. It's hard to figure out, but we're going to go through some and just tell you that, hey, these ones have these extra inserts. Make sure yours is correct, and you can pick them up. I picked a lot of really easy ones to get. Just make sure you have these, and I think you went for a few harder ones.
I picked popular games that I think even the Zoomers are going to own, Johnny. Shout out to the Zoomers who don't collect NES because it's for old people.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of these inserts come in older games. I think our main focus is going to be around 8-bit and 16-bit era games. So
Johnny, games don't even come with manuals anymore.
I know. So that's just the world we live in.
All right. Johnny, I want to start because you brought up looking through some of these references, spreadsheets of NES inserts, and you say there's all these variants and sometimes things don't show up. A thing that I rarely see show up is the Tecmo address slip, and it does show up. One of these NES insert lists that you could find is on GameFAQs. Do you say hold on?
Yeah, you want to talk about Tecmo? Tecmo's a nightmare.
What are you talking? Why are you interrupting me with this shit? What's a nightmare about Tecmo?
I wasn't interrupting. I was just layering our conversation because I too am going to talk about Tecmo. So I'm prepping the people for more Tecmo talk because Tecmo is very fond of their inserts. That's all I was getting at. Don't yell at me.
I'm yelling at you.
Hey, I'm here doing this with you, pal. I'm here in it with you.
Johnny, one of these NES insert lists you could find is from the_wizard_666 on GameFAQs. It's a very long running list. It is a list of NES inserts that were all 100% verified from opened sealed games. So I don't think it's not getting updated like it's 2007 anymore because we're not opening many sealed NES games.
Why not?
It is a good 100% confirmed list of inserts. And he does have the Tecmo address slips on there, which there's a bunch of Tecmo games that come with it's like a watch giveaway insert. I think you have to mail in 5 UPCs from Tecmo games and you get a watch. I could be wrong about that. I didn't look up the insert again. But inside that insert, for whatever reason, they give you a sticker that it's just a little address label. It says it has your name and your zip code and your state, and you're supposed to write your address on it, slap that on the postcard, and mail that in. And this doesn't have one of those NES product codes on the insert. It's just this tiny little slip of paper, and if you open up that watch insert, it might be in there. Because I think it was originally tucked in there or attached in there. So you might not even realize that you have this. And it came with a lot of games. Kind of notably, it came with Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2, obviously the games that I care about. But you'll find it in Solomon's Key, Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Baseball. Going through eBay sold listings, there was a copy of Tecmo Baseball that sold with this insert for $60, complete in box. So it's one of these inserts that you can take out of the cheaper games and put into the more expensive games. I love inserts like that. And again, you start looking for these games like Tecmo Bowl and Tecmo Baseball, Ninja Gaiden, 5% maybe 5% of the copies on eBay will have this tiny little insert in it. And if you are collecting 100% complete in box NES set with all these Tecmo games, you probably don't have all these little stupid insert slips. So this episode, congratulations, we just raised the price of Tecmo Baseball by $30 by talking about this. But I like it, Johnny, because it's a Ninja Gaiden exclusive insert. And it's a weird one that doesn't have a product code, and it's always missing.
Yeah, and that's the real challenge right there is it doesn't have a product code. Should we just talk about product codes for a second just to like maybe background people
Oh
who
yeah,
don't know
go
what
ahead.
we're talking about? So most inserts for games and even the carts themselves, the boxes, they have these little product codes. It might be like, NES-US-1. It was like, you'll hear them called revision codes, but this comes on all of the inserts as well, like your Nintendo Power inserts, your precaution booklets, all this stuff in most of Nintendo's arsenal, and even on Genesis too. All this stuff, this literature, they come with codes on them. So we address them as product codes, and it's easy to track because most games come with a very specific one. So it might be a general one, but sometimes it is specific to the game. It's usually, you can parse that out, or people have already done that work for you. There's lists online. There's people who know, just get in our Discord and people will tell you about these things. Anyways, all this stuff out here has these little codes, and that's what we're talking about. It's usually in the bottom right-hand corner on the paper products. No, I guess sometimes it's the upper right-hand corner as well. They're all over. Never mind. I'm thinking of like 12 inserts
Yeah,
now.
they are all over.
They literally, it could be any corner, sometimes not in the corner. Yeah, never mind. Ignore that whole statement. I just had to do a visual indexing of like what some inserts look. Nope, all over for all the different systems. Anyways, look for the codes because these little codes provide a lot of information about your game.
And they're very important because inserts that seem almost identical can vary by the code. And a famous one is the Tecmo or the Taito Wave insert that comes with Little Samson, ends in a -5. And I think that insert only comes in Little Samson and Panic Restaurant. So there are cheaper games that come with that Taito Wave insert, but they have the wrong little number at the end. So it's like hundreds of dollar difference if you have like the right product code on that insert. Because everyone wants to complete their Little Samson.
And people will try to get one past you by putting the wrong one in there, too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so you got to check your Little Samson and be like, you can't be like, oh, look, it has the Taito Wave insert. Like, someone definitely jammed the wrong one in there if it's not -5.
So a thing to look at where it especially gets like this is posters. So because sometimes the Game Boy, Super Nintendo, and NES version of a game, if it's cross-platform, even if it's not the same game play, it's got the same box on it, they will put the same poster in all three of those boxes, but it won't be exactly the same. Everything will look the same except for the product code. And usually the product code indicates the system is for, like, Super Nintendo is usually -SNS, Game Boy is usually GB, NES is usually an NS or NES. So again, knowing your codes, knowing that these exist, and having a basic understanding of them is going to be very helpful. And then, as Tyler was mentioning, especially with this Little Samson, is going to make sure that, one, you have the right one, and also that you don't get scammed for potentially hundreds of dollars.
Johnny, I just want to give one more example.
Sure.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards so every Yu-Gi-Oh game that's ever been released comes packed in with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and they all have promotional codes on them. So the product code on the Yu-Gi-Oh card is going to be like some promo product thing. So you can't just buy like a random one on eBay and throw it in, even if it's the right card. This is so when I first published my list of Xbox games, like within 5 minutes, this is the first thing someone pointed out to me. They're like, you didn't know about the Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Man.
Aside from having the special, because usually when it's a promo card, it has a specific number to that promo card. So they're saying additionally, there's an additional promo code stamped on it.
It's so like whatever. Yu-Gi-Oh cards are weird. I don't remember exactly how it works, but like the code that would identify what set it's a part of identifies it as a promo instead.
Yeah. So this is the card number. So because Yu-Gi-Oh cards get printed and reprinted quite a lot. So it might be like KOK-242, right? Because there's usually a couple hundred cards in there. So
yeah.
And you might see the same card with a number that's like MOM, 422. That's not going to be, though that name is the same, that's not the same card. So you want to make sure you're getting the promo specific set number. So it's not an additional code stamped on it. I just wanted to be clear of that.
It's kind of frustrating how well tracked all these inserts are in terms of like having codes and everything. Like we can't even get together like the perfect list of video games, like the catalog that I've always wanted of every game, every variant and all that stuff. But they've laid the framework out for us with the inserts. That tidal wave, we know there's 5 different tidal wave inserts because they got the Dash 5. The GBA like instruction, what is the warranty information? There's like dozens of variants of that, and they're all numbered. And like we have weird guys making Excel spreadsheets trying to piece this all together. Man, it's still hard.
It's there too. You know, and part of it is because it's why I'm mad about this thing CIB, because then so many games just became CIB, because then people just like, oh, I don't care about these inserts. So inserts just went into this other box and people only looked for their cart manuals and never tried to put the right stuff together. And now everyone's going backwards and people are just like, I got a box of nonsense inserts over here. Yeah. You want to look through this? And again, if you don't know your codes, you won't even know what you're looking for. But to drag it back
wait
to that
I
address.
do want to clarify before we go back. If you have like a Dash 1 box, that doesn't mean it goes with the Dash 1 manual.
Yes.
And if you have a certain date code on like a manual or a box, it doesn't mean it goes with the exact same date code on the other components in the box. So they've laid the framework for this to be somewhat easy for us to track, but then they didn't actually consider like no one's going to need to keep components together. What, this is just packaging for a retail product. So don't assume that like your Dash 1 manual goes with the Dash 1 box or your like Star manual goes with the Star box. That just
okay. So now I have to further contextualize that because you've dragged me into an area which I have fought people long and hard to prove this was true, and then finally got through to people. Okay, so while we're calling these product codes, the ones on the cart, the manual, the box, like when it's got that Dash 1, usually that Dash 1 represents a revision in some of the printed material or the text material if it's in the cart. So some changes occurred, and it might, the Star epilepsy warning. So something has changed there. That's what this just represents, a revision. But and as Tyler was trying to get at, they don't revise necessarily each part, because you might like put a warning on the box, but you didn't have to put a warning in the manual because it was already there. Or you didn't have to put it in the game because it was already there. Or you did it and then you're like, oh crap, we got to go back and put them all in there. So yes, it does not necessarily line up. So just know that. And I think if you were trying to have like no Dash 1s in all of your stuff, that's the best way to go. But
then some things start at Dash 1. Yeah,
but again, it's not... Sadly, it isn't always consistent. So do the best you can out there, people. It's hard to collect video games 100% accurately.
How easy would that be if we could just be like, oh, just get the ones that don't have any dash number, and then you'll know you have first print that goes all together. But that's not how it works.
Nope. Nope. Sadly, no. Anyway, as I was saying, I wanted to drag it back because why those address stickers are especially hard to get and frustrating is because they don't have any of these product codes. So even if people do have them, they may not even know where they go, because you can start to see the codes start to align. It's like, oh, this poster has a very similar code to this box, and this one has a very similar code. Oh, so this all goes together in this product. Makes sense. But when it doesn't have a code on it at all, that means somebody out there has to know that it belongs there. And if they don't, it could just be in the trash, and a bunch of these just went in the trash.
Yeah, a significant number of these have been thrown out because someone was organizing their stuff, and they saw it, and they're like, what the hell is this? Did this come with, like, my junk mail? And then threw it out.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
It's so insignificant. It's literally like, it looks like an Avery label that someone printed. It's like an inch tall and 3 inches across.
Yeah, the other thing about these inserts. Like, most of them aren't sexy. Like, the ones that are, like, all this stuff was like precautionary stuff that isn't like game specific, doesn't have game art on it. It's just like the most generic looking thing ever, because they weren't trying to be interesting about it. They just needed to give you this warning because legal reasons or something. So bear that in mind when you're looking for these things.
All right, give me something else cool, Johnny.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you about one. I'm going to talk about Tecmo real quick because we've already gone down the ladder, and I am going to just... Tecmo put a lot of inserts in their game. They did it for all of their games, especially their sports games. They did it on the Genesis, Super Nintendo, NES, just a litany of places Tecmo could do things. They just were dumping inserts into them. But I want to talk about a very specific insert. And these are the reference guides. Do you know what these are, or the references?
No idea.
It's to their sports games.
I probably have them considering how many games you have listed.
So you at least have some of them, but they don't all go. This is the thing. They're all unique to their game, which is especially annoying. But it's all the same kind of insert, so I'm going to just talk about them as a group. So it's a sheet that's usually a little bit wider than the manual. If we're on Super Nintendo, definitely wider on the Genesis, and on the NES, it's taller, so you'll never confuse it. Sometimes they get tucked into the manual, but they will stick out, so that's why I mention it. It's not something you can just lose. You will know if you have these. Anyways, if you look at Tecmo Super Bowl on the NES, it just has this little reference guide. That's it. It's just this little like green and white sheet. It says the name of the game on it. You can't really mistake it. It comes with it. And you're like, oh, cool. I guess this is something I might want. Maybe I should go buy this thing. Yeah, if you want. But your game isn't complete without it. And they did this, like I said, for a lot of their games. So Tecmo Super Bowl also has a release on the Super Nintendo, which has the same name, Tecmo Super Bowl, but the insert is different, and it has a different code. It even has a different logo at the top. They also did it on the Genesis, so the Genesis logo is at the top of that one. They did this for Tecmo Super Bowl 2. They did it for Tecmo Super Bowl 3. They did it for Tecmo NBA Basketball on the NES, Genesis, and the Super Nintendo. They did it for Tecmo Super Baseball on the Genesis and on the Super Nintendo. And I don't think they did it for Tecmo Baseball on the NES, because Tecmo Baseball is not the same as Tecmo Super Baseball. Just like Tecmo Bowl doesn't have one of these either. And the reason I bring up all these stupid Tecmo games is because I know you have, like, if you're a collector of any length, you just have like 4 or 5 Tecmo Sport games by accident. So go ahead and check yours. Like, Tyler and I had a debate. I said, if you have these games, you should get the inserts, just make them the best possible version. He said, most of these are probably trash, so you should just get rid of them. Pick one, though. If you're going to keep it, then maybe do it nice. These aren't too hard to find or to pick up, with one exception. Tyler, for some reason, Tecmo Super Bowl 2 on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis is rarer than 3 and 1. I don't know why this is. So that means that insert commands a premium, because usually it's like lumped with the manual. I haven't seen it by itself very often. So if you want that one, or you're trying to buy a complete game to get it, that's just going to be a more expensive thing that you have to get. So watch out for that one.
Tecmo Super Bowl 2, it's not like something that's going to end up on the end of a set when you're getting it, but it's such a game that you'll never just like look and happen to have. And then you'll look and be like, what? I got to spend like $100 on Tecmo Super Bowl 2. It's an annoyingly uncommon game.
Yes, it is. And like Tecmo Super Bowl 3 isn't incredibly common either, but compared to 2, it's way less common.
Yeah, I don't know. Just don't know what's going on. If it got bad reviews, if people there were too many Tecmo sports games coming out and that one just got shafted by their deluge of releases. What a weird thing, Johnny.
Yep.
You did say, so I'm going to fight you. So you said like, oh, if you have the games, I want you to just have the best things you are. But Tyler doesn't want you. Tyler thinks it's all trash. To be clear, if you have some random crap, if Magician on NES had some rare insert and you didn't have it and you don't care about Magician, you know, it could be just as valid to just sell your copy of Magician rather than hunt down some crazy rare insert that you need to make it better. Your collection could even be better by paring your collection down from stuff you don't need. And I don't think, like, specifically Tecmo sports games, I would never call trash. Like, Tecmo makes good games. But, like, if we were talking about...
I mean, except for that time you called them trash before we were recording.
No, I'm not going to call Tecmo sports games trash because they make good stuff.
Yeah, we were talking specifically about these.
If we were talking about, like, Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White inserts, I'd be like, you know, maybe just get rid of Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White, unless you're really completing the NES set.
I don't think you're challenging me. That's what I said you said.
Okay.
Like, I said if you're going to own it, if you've decided it's worth owning, then make it nice. But if you look at it and you're like, I don't want to spend the $100 on an insert like this, and it's not really worth it, then yeah, you should just get rid of it. Like, hunting down that insert probably, here's the other thing. Hunting down that insert probably isn't going to get you a super premium on some of these Tecmo games. On some games, though, owning the insert allows you to say, I've got the best copy, and then, like, put your price way up on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see people do this. That they are starting to do it. You've seen it. We saw it today. People like 100% complete, all inserts, and you look and you're like, no, it's not. Not all the inserts are there, but they're asking for more because they think they have all the inserts.
Yeah, and like when you get down to like the, quote unquote filler games. I know Tecmo Baseball is not a bad game, but like they'll be 100% complete in box with that little slip for $60. And then you look at the Ninja Gaiden guy who says it's 100% complete. It was like 100% actually complete, $500. And you look at the listing and it's missing the address slip. It's like, God damn it.
Right. And that's the problem. Like a lot of people just don't know. People don't care this much about games. We're weirdos and we hang out with weirdos. So, this is what we talk about.
I would complain about talking about these filler ass games if Tecmo Super Bowl wasn't a prominent one that came with this little quick reference card.
Okay.
Because I think that's a game, I don't know what the reputation of Tecmo Super Bowl is now, but I remember in the mid 2000s, that was like one of my moneymaker games. Like if I found that at a garage sale, I could sell it the same day for $20 because everyone wanted Tecmo Super Bowl. It was
Tecmo Bowl is
so
a beloved. Tecmo Bowl is a beloved franchise. It's completely worth talking about all the Tecmo games. I could have just kept it to Tecmo Super Bowl and 2, but I just wanted to mention because they did it for all of them. Most of these you can pick up for like $10. A lot of them you can find loose. But again, because Tecmo put so many stupid inserts in all of their games, you're probably missing a lot more inserts. Just go look at complete Tecmo games and look at the madness that's going on there. Sorry, you're probably rebuying all of your $40 Tecmo games.
Yeah, Tecmo Super Bowl is like $60 on NES. Just like if you don't have Tecmo Super Bowl, this insert that we're talking about, not that rare. Like, I don't know, like a third of copies maybe have it. Maybe like 20% of copies have it. Go get a copy of Tecmo Super Bowl. It's a classic.
And it's a nice insert because it puts the title of the game right on top. You don't have to guess with product codes. It's like, here it is. This is the thing it goes in. You're like, all right, I got it. We'll put it in the box. Unlike some other inserts we'll talk about.
All right, Johnny, I'm going to go talk about a game people care about again because I don't think people care about Tecmo Super Bowl anymore. I don't think I could go and go on Video Game Sage and list a copy of Tecmo Super Bowl for $20 and sell it the same day.
People love Tecmo Bowl.
Because it's because everyone who wants it has it, and that's kind of the thing with some of these common games, I think.
Yep.
Johnny, I'm going to talk about something that I do bring up on the show, but I think it's like the best NES insert. Maybe, I think it goes back and forth between the 1985 Rob posters, which drive me crazy when they're missing, and the Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 baggies. I don't care if I've brought it up before, bringing it up again. It's the best NES insert. What if you have two NES games? One of them is probably The Legend of Zelda. The other one is probably not Zelda 2. But when you look at an NES game, what's in the box? There's a lot of stuff in the box. There's the cartridge, there's the dust sleeve, there's the styrofoam block, there's the manual, there's multiple inserts usually, and there's the cartridge baggie. What is the most common thing to be missing from that box? It's the cartridge baggie. 100%. It's the rarest thing to find in any NES box. But for the most part, they're generic. So I could take one out of Wheel of Fortune and put it on Little Samson. And even if those are technically slightly different, no one is ever going to know the difference. But there are two games that did have a difference, and it's Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, kind of important games. And it's because there's the little rectangular cutout on the front of the box that was meant so the cartridge could shine through. And they didn't want to block the gold paint by having the cartridge baggie there. So they cut a circular hole. It's like an 1.5 inch circular hole in the baggie so the cartridge can shine through that hole in the box. So basically, just this baggie, the rarest component of any complete in box NES game, is the rarest component of Zelda, and it's unique to Zelda 1 and 2, and you are almost definitely missing it if you haven't specifically targeted it.
Unless yours is Canadian, and then you can buy whatever bag you want.
Yeah, well, because the Canadians didn't have the little cutout on the box.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, funny thing with that cutout, I love seeing a graded, like, complete in box copy of Legend of Zelda where they put the cartridge in the wrong way, so you're just seeing the black dust sleeve through the window, and it's permanently encased. That is just chef's kiss. Super nice. Seen it multiple times.
I would send that thing back so fast. I would be so mad.
There was one at Midwest Gaming Classic.
Oh, do you think they put it back wrong, or it was sent wrong and they put it back the way it came?
No, they definitely put it back wrong. Because it's just like, you just got random people unboxing and grading these games. They don't know, like, oh, this one game I'm supposed to put the cartridge a certain way around. What are you talking about?
How much does this baggie go for?
I don't know. I bought a copy of Zelda for $300 just for the baggie, Johnny. But that came with like a nice copy of Zelda, so that's a bad metric. But I doubt you will never see it sitting in like a random crappy Zelda because someone will have bought it just for the baggie. So you're probably looking like $200 and up, and you will have to buy a complete in-box copy of Zelda to get the baggie. Like, no one's ever selling this on its own.
Yeah, that's what I was really getting at. There's not a product code on this. You're probably not finding it loose in a lot of inserts or anything. If you type Nintendo baggie into eBay or something, you'll find some, but usually those are reproduction bags. So just be careful there. People do try to fake this bag, so
yeah, good luck figuring that one out. Yeah, you probably could just take an NES baggie, and if you have like the correct size hole punch, man,
you
try to find someone who doesn't seem like they know what they have, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but first you'll need the bag to see if you can find the right size hole punch so you can measure it up. So, anyways,
so go get it before now that we've given the fakers that idea.
Yeah, and I said sorry, Canada, but I think that's only on Zelda 1. Didn't Zelda 2 in Canada come with the cutout?
Johnny, ask me anything about Canadian games because I don't know the answer.
I think that's true.
Except Babar the Elephant on GBA. There is a version that came shrink-wrapped with a French manual on the back. That is a Quebec variant. Maybe Quebec exclusive? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
That's important. So, you talked about Zelda. Does that mean I need to talk about Zelda now?
Sure.
All right. Again, Tyler doing some more hard to find stuff. I'm going to talk to you about a super easy one. Hey, Tyler, have you ever heard of Zelda for the Super Nintendo, A Link to the Past? You ever heard of this game?
Oh, yeah, that's the one that all those millennials overrate. That's just definitely not as good as A Link Between Worlds. I've heard of that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyways, this game came with a little itty-bitty folded up thing called The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Top Secrets. A little black folded insert. And it came sealed. And, yeah, it's great. It's has
a little gold Triforce sticker seal in it. It's wonderful.
Yep, it's great. Love it. It's one of my favorite inserts, and it says messages from. I never can say this guy's name. It's a lot of A's in the middle of his name. So, anyways, you open it up. It tells you, "Hey, the Eastern Palace. Where's the big key? The Desert Palace. How do I open the Desert Palace? Dark World. Where's the big key?" Anyways, it gives you tips. As you can imagine, because apparently Zelda was so hard, you were going to need this little booklet. They're like, oh man, kids are going to struggle. This is before we could just do tutorials for 3 hours in our Zelda games. We had to like give them a written guide.
As it should be.
Yes, as it should be. Anyways, this is not an expensive insert. It came with, I think, every version of Zelda. At least, I don't know if it came with the player's choice versions. Or, yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I don't know either.
Anyways, it's got a little code on it as well. SNS-ZL-USA. I don't know if there's a revision on that either. I didn't check. But I can tell you there is at least one variant, Tyler.
Oh.
Do you know the variant?
No.
It's the Canadian variant, Tyler. I know how much you like to talk about Canada.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Does that one come sticker sealed with like a gloss sticker like their NES games did?
No, it instead of a Triforce, it has a maple leaf on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it looks almost the same, except worse, because you know what they had to do, right? They had to put French text on there.
Oh, no.
And the code changes, so it becomes SNS-ZL-CAN. And then it's funny because it says the only word that actually changes, it says top secrets, messages from too many A's in my name. Same thing, only the word from and messages change. It's messages D. So anyways, like you could totally contextually read this in French or in English and make out what that was supposed to be. You didn't really need to change that part and make it ugly. Also, the warning becomes twice the size with smaller font because they got to get the French warning. But the most interesting part about that, aside from just like, oh, they put French on it, they actually had to make this thing twice the size. So the insert we got, which is like a half sheet, is a full sheet. It has another fold in it. So this one, just like accordion folds out from the US one. But if you get the Canadian one, it accordion folds and then folds down. So you have a full another sheet to fit all the French text on there. I keep saying Canadian text, but French text, obviously.
Thanks for telling me about this thing that we don't want to collect. I'm sorry, Canada.
It's just a fun fact that it exists. And it had to double the size. So if you've got your copy and if you are Canadian and you are listening, just know that there's a Canadian variant out there. Anyways, this thing isn't too expensive. This is pretty easy to find. You can get them for like $15 to $20. Get a nice one and make sure your box says. Again, Zelda also has a bunch of inserts that comes with it, maps and stuff. So make sure you get all the stuff. But the thing I see missing the most is this. And I think it's pretty common for a lot of versions to still have this because, again, it says the name right on there. But if you don't have it, it's very easy to make yours a better copy. So
yeah,
go out and get it.
I think I have 2 of these inserts sealed in my copies of Link to the Past. So you find the Zelda map. So this is the equivalent to, it's not really the equivalent of the Zelda map. But it's a similar insert to the map that came with the original Legend of Zelda, but those are always opened and always trashed. And just by happenstance, I think I have 2 copies of Link to the Past I bought, and both of them didn't even bother to open this insert. And like, there's even a couple sealed ones just sitting on eBay. And I know that Zelda map would command a big premium sealed, and like you can get them for like, $30 to $50 sealed on the Super Nintendo one.
Yep, not too hard. So yeah, go get it. It's a nice one to make sure you own.
Hey Johnny, since we're talking about Zelda,
games do we have some more Zelda to talk about?
Let me go over an easy one. The Majora's Mask errata insert. I'm sorry, the Majora's Mask correction insert.
I'm sorry, what?
The Majora's Mask corrections insert. That's right, Zelda fans.
We all know about this? Is this something we all know?
This is something we all know about.
Is it?
This is a very common
I don't think I've heard of this.
N64 insert. So in the quote-unquote first print holographic collector's edition of Majora's Mask, you should have a white insert that says correction in bold letters at the top. And the correction is that the manual says that it's a 4-player game. And they're like, hold up, guys. It's supposed to say that it's a 1-player game. In case you read that manual and you're like, oh my God, I could play The Legend of Zelda with my friends, which I guess, in 4 Swords down the line, that did happen.
It was actually a preview. That was a preview for 4 Swords, yeah.
But yeah, this insert is super common. I already had it in my copy of the game. There's 3 on eBay now for like $20 each. I don't know. It's a beloved game. A lot of people think it's the best Zelda game of all time. I guess go and make sure you have this correction insert. The errata manual is not rare. You probably already have it if you have the holographic version of the game. So just make sure you have this insert because it's something that could have easily been thrown out when someone looked at it and were like, wow, 4-player game, correction insert? Get rid of this.
Yeah, especially if you piece together your games. Like, the manual is easy to find, but this thing, it's not always missing, as you just said. Like, a lot of people bought Zelda and just kept their Zeldas in the box and all the shit that came with it, which is the nice thing about being one of the best franchises and most popular franchises of all time. It's easy to find the stuff that came with it. But this is one of the things that people might have accidentally left out. Yeah, it's a good thing to
I
pick
don't
up
think
if you
there's a
don't have.
premium. If you look at complete and box copies, you'll see them without this errata insert, but like for basically the same price, you can get one with the errata insert. I just don't think there's any premium knowledge about that.
I don't even think people acknowledge it. It's just like, oh yeah, this is the stuff that was in the box. Who gives a shit? Is where this insert falls on people's desire to own it.
So this,
or get a premium for it.
Funny part, this to me is just like, oh yeah, get this. Like this is everywhere, everyone has it. And then there's a similar errata insert on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is the same thing. It's a correction about the number of players in the game. And for whatever reason, I think that's the coolest thing. I think it's because it's easier to lose. It's like this little smaller than index card thing in an Xbox 360 case. Versus a thing that's like completely perfectly sized to fit in an N64 box. But I don't know. My collector brain is weird.
Yeah. You should go find both of these if this is a thing that you think you should own.
Everyone listening to this owns Majora's Mask. And if they don't, it's specifically because they hate Nintendo 64.
I mean, that's fair. But if you own this game, you should go get this and put it in. There will be a day where someone gives a shit and then they mention this. And they'll be like, wait, mine doesn't have it, or people will start listing it like has correction insert, so that I'm asking for more money. Just wait. It's probably already happening.
Johnny, let me tell you, today is the day we care.
Okay. We did it. All right. I don't have another Zelda game to bounce off of you.
Okay.
So let me talk about another popular franchise. You want a popular franchise or you want something you don't give a shit about? What do you want?
Let's go to something I don't give a shit since we did 3 Zelda games in a row.
Okay. Bases Loaded 2. You ever heard of it?
That would be the sequel to Bases Loaded. Some might call it the second season.
And it is called the second season. Very good, Tyler. You know, it has a special little offer on it. Did you know that?
I absolutely did not. Although if I look at a box, I'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, like literally it's on the box. And you taking a look at the box? Anyways.
I'm absolutely taking a look at the box because this is one of those boxes you would see at a convention and be like, oh, Bases Loaded 2. What the hell? Who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit about Bases Loaded 2? Over on the left-hand side, well, about 3/4 of the way down the box, and it's dumb because there's 2 banners there. There's like a red one that's like, awesome, action. And there's a smaller one, blue one, that's like, Louisville Slugger sweepstakes, details inside. So,
are you telling me the details are inside?
They are inside. In fact, the details are it's a little slip of paper that folds out, and you can try to get yourself a Louisville Slugger. So it's
what's a Louisville Slugger? Is that like a bat?
It's a bat. You don't know what a Louisville Slugger is? Anyways, this is a Jalco game if you don't know. It's one of the white box games. Anyways, this is called the Batter Up Sweepstakes. So it's just a piece of paper. I don't know if it's like an A11 or whatever they're called, folded in fourths. It tells you can get a bat. There's a batter's glove. There's shirts. I'm sure there's someone who went out and collected these things as well. So there was, the third prize was 100 shirts were available, 50 batting gloves, and 25 bats. I bet someone out there owns one of these bats and it's in their Nintendo collection.
But these are the kind of things. So the items mentioned on inserts, you never hear people collecting those. And those are the things like, who is ever going to have like this catalog order item? Like I'm thinking of some Genesis games that come with catalogs of like EA merch. And like, yeah, you have the insert. Who has the EA hat from this insert? No one's going to have that hat. It's like crazy to find merch. Like I know people collect like Nintendo Power merch that they order from catalogs, but the stuff that you got from the games, like that's some cool stuff if you have that.
There's also no guarantee, Tyler, that these items were only available through this promotion, because this could have been a Louisville Slugger promotion that was other places as well.
Oh yeah. I don't care. I think if that makes it better because then you can just go get them. I think that would be super cool to put next to your copy of Bases Loaded 2.
Oh yeah, if you have these things, that's awesome. Like I don't know for a fact that that's what happened with these ones, but it would be pretty awesome if you did have this stuff. So I would love to see it. And I don't think anywhere on the bat specifically it says that that it's for Bases Loaded 2 or anything. So this could also just be it says it's a personalized bat. So they may have had other versions, but I'm unsure. So I don't know if this bat is specific to this game. They had other promotions out there for it or not.
Something tells me that they didn't make a bat specifically for Bases Loaded 2 giveaways, but I guess it's possible.
They make so much, like the amount of baseball bats that are made every season and their ability to just make like 25 one-off bats is like pretty easy. So it is a thing I could see happening.
It says it includes airfare for 2 one night of double room accommodations and meals?
Yeah. Yeah, you could go to Louisville. Be a slugger too.
Dude, what is this? Look at these gloves and these shirts. So, all right, if you put in a save search for Louisville Slugger TPS shirt, I want someone to find one of these 100 shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, apparel's hard to collect too because it falls apart and people get rid of it. So,
yeah,
you're an apparel collector. Good job.
Yeah, one of these is just sitting in a Goodwill right now, and people don't know. It's the NES Grail. No one knows where the 100 Louisville Slugger t-shirts went.
No. Again, though, like that could just been sold in the store there. We don't know.
Johnny.
Anyways, that's
I'm
it.
Looking this right now if I could find this shirt on eBay.
Okay. You look, I'll tell the people that this insert is like $10 to $15. This isn't a game that comes with a ton of inserts, so this might be the only thing you're missing from it. Real easy just to pick one of these up and toss it in your game.
All right. I'm going to go back to something people care about.
Okay.
What is it? No, I'm not. I'm going to talk about the NES Doc USA epilepsy warning sheet, Johnny.
Oh.
This is
Isn't
an easy
that what the
one.
star is for?
This is a gimme. No, this is just... Oh, is that what the star is for, actually? That they included this insert? Okay. Dozens and dozens of games, like latest release games on the NES, have this read before using your NES. It's this little index card sized insert, and it says, I don't know what it says because I didn't write it down. Don't play this game if you have epilepsy.
I think it's like contains flashing lights.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't even have to put a game in, it'll have flashing lights because it'll just blink at you.
Yeah.
You can pull these inserts, these epilepsy warning sheets, out of Monopoly and McKids and like Tiny Toon Adventures, like some of these like kind of trash games, especially Monopoly. And this insert, it goes in Little Samson, Snow Bros, Rockin' Cats, The Terminator, Zombie Nation, Bucky O'Hare, Cowboy Kid, Gun Knack. If you have one of these games that's worth hundreds of dollars, you could potentially make it look way better by pulling an insert out of a $10 copy of Monopoly. So it's kind of a gimme. There's probably people listening to the show who have a lot of those fancy games. And if you haven't checked that they're 100% complete, this is an easy late release insert to get. Because, when you're browsing through, if you were buying a copy of Bucky O'Hare, and there's like 5 nice ones on eBay, but then you see the one that has the extra insert, you're like, oh, well, this one has the extra insert, so let me ignore the other 4 listings. And it just turns out that they pulled it out of a Monopoly. Easy way to make some of your nicer games a little bit nicer.
Yeah, so don't be fooled by them just having that, because you can go get it. Buy the one with the nicest box.
I mean, the answer is usually just to buy the one with the nicest box. Yeah.
True.
And then get a shitty one that's 100% complete, and you end up spending twice as much money, and then you never get around to selling the shitty one, then you just have another shitty game sitting around forever. Is it just me who does this? I don't know.
No, this is the way. This is exactly how it's done. You've done it.
You've
mastered collecting.
What is Kawasaki Superbike on Genesis? I have like 3 or 4 copies of that game, and that game's like expensive. Ugh.
Wow.
Just
good one.
Yeah. And
okay. All right. I have another one that people don't care about. Is this my last one? I think this is my. No, I have one more after this. I have one more that we don't care about. You wanna hear about it?
Yeah, absolutely, Johnny.
Okay. This is common trash tier Nintendo game, but hey, it comes in a silver box and it's made by Konami. Does that help it at all? It's Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Castlevania 2.
Oh, I know that's what everyone thought. Or they were like, oh, he's probably going to talk about that Castlevania insert. And like how that's like a big dilemma. Do I get the one with the nicer box or do I get the first one, even though it's got that ugly red splash on it? No, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about Bill Elliott. So there's a version of Bill Elliott that contest. So this is also a variant box. The first print of the game had an offer where you could win a trip to the Daytona 500. You could meet Bill Elliott and win a 1992 Ford Thunderbird. How awesome is that?
Damn, dude, a Thunderbird, a T-Bird?
Yeah, buddy.
Yo.
I said it's the first print. Now I'm like, is that true?
It's got.
I wonder if it's got to be true. Usually, here's the thing. Usually, offers are the first prints of the game because later prints remove the offer. So I'm defaulting there.
Give them more stuff when it hits the bargain bin. Come on.
Yep.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, I'm just saying, logically, probably not.
Seems unlikely. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I'm just saying I don't have 1,000% verification on that. Ew, I said 1,000%, 100% verification. So you will have to double check that if you don't believe me, just or aren't falling into my same heuristics here. This is a dumb insert. It says just that. It's a little fold out insert. Talks about winning this trip. It's got a little form you fill out. You mail it back. It's got a thing you tear off. That's the thing. It does have a thing to tear off. Make sure if you have it, you don't have one that's tore off. You want the one that is not ripped. So make sure you get the right one. Send it off, and let's see if you win. And if you won this thing, you let me know.
Johnny, let me give you a reason to care. Let me give me a reason to care. Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge is the first NASCAR licensed video game.
Oh shit! Now Tyler Kiss. Oh damn!
First collectible. Get your Bill Elliott's, guys. They're
Come on,
going
NASCAR
hot.
guys.
They're like $25 on eBay. They're going up to $27.
Yeah, and if you want this insert by itself, you're gonna pay $10. So there's another easy one. I'm giving you easy ones to make your game better. That game that you probably have Bill Elliott by accident, but do check your box to make sure you have the version with the little splash on it because not all of them have it. Anyways,
I'm just saying I would be hating on your picks. You were getting lucky that like you just happened to pick the first NASCAR game, so I could say like something cool about the game because I'm waiting for you to talk about something that's just like complete shelf filler that no one could possibly care about.
Oh well, I'm glad I've eluded your shitty judgments. Anyways, the code on this is KON-EV-US.
If you wanted a WADA graded contest 8.0 version of the Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge in NES, you can get one for $150. It does not include the contest insert.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. This is what I'm talking about.
The title also says super rare.
Here's the other thing about this splash. You can't miss the splash on the box. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
It literally in giant bold. Win a trip to the Daytona. It's a big, ugly, double checkered flags. But then they were like, oh, we got to fit the information in, and checkered flags doesn't really work with the text. So we're going to throw a circle over that. But people will get the idea that checkered flags are back there. It's real dumb. Anyways.
All right, Johnny, I'm out of games that people care about. So I'm going to go back to a CQ classic. Maybe the last time I bring these up on the show because I know I love them.
Hold on. I had one more fun fact.
Oh, okay.
That you can also find this slip in the computer version of Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge. Yes.
Wow!
For your IBM or PC, you can get that insert in that game. And here's the thing. It's on the box, baby. There's a sealed copy on eBay for $50. You want the PC version of this? You want to tell Tyler how cool you are? Also, the PC version's got better box art. What are you even doing? Go get this one.
So you're getting me worried now because what if the PC version was released before the NES version? They're both released in 1991, and the Amiga version in the UK was released in 1991.
Well, I think you maybe
See,
need to check.
Now I want to look up which one actually came first. I probably have to figure out when the PC version came out, but I think the PC version is probably the one to have.
I mean, it's got a better box, if nothing else, and there's a sealed one for $50, and they've got a best offer, Tyler.
Sealed? Really? A sealed PC one?
Yeah, sealed $50.
I mean,
Bucks,
if the complete in box graded NES one's $150, a sealed PC one for $50. Johnny, that's a collectible NASCAR game. That's a classic. All the rednecks are going to want a sealed PC copy of Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge.
And again, just so you know, the PC game also has a variant that doesn't have the splash on it. So just be careful.
Oh, is the sealed PC one the splash one?
It sure is.
Johnny,
how could later version of the game
giving that away?
A later version of Bill Elliott's on the PC comes with an award winner sticker where the splash was. So there's like a couple different PC variants because, PC games are a nightmare.
This is in such nice condition, Johnny.
I know. And there's a nice, like, complete one for $25. These things are all over. This is not hard to find.
All right. I'm happy I don't care about NASCAR and will not be buying this. So someone go buy that.
But if you want it, $50. Let's go.
Johnny, I'm going to talk about Sega Genesis Pogs one more time. It's probably been years since we've mentioned this. I'm allowed to bring them up again. Some people complain that we bring up the same games and same issues we have over and over. But you know what? So does every other show that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Johnny, EA Sports in 1993 had one of the greatest early 90s-ist promotions in their sports games of all time. For their lineup of 1993 sports games, meaning the games ending in 94, they included a Pog with NHL 94, Madden 94, NBA Showdown 94, FIFA, just FIFA International Soccer, and Bill Walsh College Football. And these are going to be with the first run versions of the game. They've got that little gold badge on the front. So like the regular old later prints won't have the Pogs. But also, most copies of these won't have the Pogs because these games are all common as dirt, and they're always missing the Pog. Because how would that Pog ever find its way back into a Sega Genesis case 30 years later? It's just so easy to lose these. I would say they're pretty available because there's only 3 different kinds. So NHL 94, Showdown, and Bill Walsh College Football all have a generic EA Sports Pog. Madden 94 has its own Madden 94 Pog, and then FIFA has its own FIFA Pog. Johnny, these are great. I think they're pretty findable, and I only bring it up again because NHL 94 is an absolute bona fide classic, and there's 3 different games you could buy that Pog from, and I think if you are like me and you grew up on Sega Genesis playing sports games in the mid-90s, you probably played NHL 94, and that might be a treasured game in your collection. And like, yes, on one hand, it's $15 garbage. On the other hand, you can get this and like have the complete copy of the game that no one else has because no one cares about this stupid Pog. If you don't have those first round limited editions, quote unquote limited editions, there are tens and tens of thousands of these. But yeah, go upgrade your copy of NHL 94 to a first round limited edition, quote unquote. The only difference is the badge and the Pog. And go get it. I love this insert, Johnny. It's so good.
I know you do. It's
all of these
fine.
games, they also come with a merch insert. So it's like a little postcard that tells you a bunch of EA merch you can have. And there's a variant of that insert. One has the Pog and one doesn't have the Pog. So I think you probably couldn't buy the Pog. They probably gave you the Pog if you like bought something else, but it'll show you the Pog on the insert. And some of these games that come with the Pog have the insert that doesn't show the Pog on it.
Woo.
Whoa, pretty exciting, huh?
No.
I don't know how hard it is to find these, but Johnny, I opened 2 sealed copies of Showdown 94 to complete my Pog set. Because that was easier than finding the Pog alone in NHL 94. I think you can find these. They usually do go for like, I don't know, a $20 to $30 premium. But back in the day, Showdown 94 was so cheap. I'm just like, I'm going to open these, whatever.
Probably
go get them, Johnny.
for the
Pogs,
best. Yeah.
That's what Collector's Quest is all about.
Collector's Quest, all about the Pogs. Yeah, that's what we do here. We are all about the dumb ass
Johnny,
inserts. I love it.
NHL 94. It's like going back to Tecmo Super Bowl. It's like a sports game that people always used to talk about, and now they're just like, this is some boomer shit.
Yeah, those boomers love it. Yeah, let's do it.
Is there a better hockey game? Someone tell me a better hockey game.
This is my last one. Do you have one after this, or are we done after this?
No,
Did
we can be
do
done.
it?
That's fine. Short episode.
All right. Okay, short episode. Tyler, I'm not going to go into the whole story of Capcom and their stupid inserts. Have you ever looked into the litany of Capcom inserts for the NES?
I
There's
know.
a lot.
I know, like, just Mega Man 2 has, like, this list that sometimes appears when people try to track all the different versions of inserts that come with the game.
Dude, Mega Man 3, different boxes, just different stuff.
Because the games were in print for so long, because when Mega Man 4 was on the shelf, they were still selling Mega Man 2 to go along with it.
They sure were. But here's one that is very specific. Also, all these Capcom games, they had like this insert banner on them, like a refund banner. It's like the Capcom refund. That's what it was called. Do you recall seeing this?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Type it into eBay right now or Google.
What am I typing?
Capcom refund. Right? You'll find something.
Capcom refund. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, this little like index card. The Mega Man refund. Captain Commando refund.
Okay. So yeah, there's banners on like so many of the Capcom games that say that they've got this refund, like $10 off if you get $10 back when you buy this game. It's on a lot of their games. It's on a lot of them. But there are different variations of it because there's the Captain Commando refund. That's like a generic Capcom one, but there's at least two versions of that, which all have like revision codes on them as well. But there is one very specific to Mega Man 3, and that's the one I want to talk about. The Mega Man refund is it's normally called the Capcom refund, but for some reason, Mega Man 3 has the Mega Man refund. They didn't call it the Capcom refund, just the Mega Man refund. And that is very specific.
Because they just were scamming you by taking bosses out of Mega Man 2 and shoving them into the middle of Mega Man 3, they felt bad and they wanted to refund some of your money because they knew they weren't shipping you a completely new game.
Yeah, well, what they wanted to do was create a whole new insert and art around it. So the other one has like images of Captain Commando. This has Mega Man on the sled. And again, it says the Mega Man refund in big bubbly letters. It's just a little insert cap. It's CAP-NES-US-3 printed in Japan. It's expired though. It expired 12/31/91. So you're not going to get any money back. Just so you guys know. Anyways, this insert is always missing. Also, here's the thing with Mega Man 3. So it's got the little yellow bar across like the corner of the game, the left-hand corner, that says it's got the Mega Man refund, except like the later prints of that game, they took the refund offer off the game, but they left the stupid yellow bar across the corner. So you just have this ugly yellow blank bar where the offer is supposed to be. It was if they
people love those Mega Man 2s and 3s that don't have the inserts. I know there's more Capcom variants that are similar to those. But yeah, like the Mega Mans that don't have the offer, people love those because those are definitely rare.
Yes, it is a much rarer version. This is the Mega Man 3 that commands a premium without that insert. But if you have Mega Man 3, the first print, and you don't have this insert, and you don't have the poster, and you don't have... There's all kinds of stuff that goes in Mega Man 3. You don't have the Nintendo Power thing. But this one specifically, I see people list it wrong. They put the Captain Commando refund in there. This one very specifically says the Mega Man refund. Make sure you have that one. Get that one. It's like $40. So if you don't have it,
have a bunch listed individually, which you don't see with a lot of other inserts, which is strange.
No, and this one is, it's very specifically called out. Like it's the Mega Man refund, but it doesn't say specifically Mega Man 3 refund. It just says the Mega Man refund. So sometimes you will see this insert in the wrong Mega Man game. So that's it. That's all I got. I just wanted to make sure people knew that this one was not the same as the other Capcom refunds.
Johnny, I think you should just get the one with the offer removed because people love that one. And then you don't have to get the insert. And then you're the cool guy who's like, hey, did you know that this text isn't over here? Because it's a late print, because it's cool.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, wait, only first prints matter? What am I doing with my life?
I
do.
Yeah, no, that's all I had too, Johnny. I think we're good. Go get some of those things.
All right.
And make your games
did it.
better.
All right. So this is our apology letter for the 4-hour episode last time. A nice short one.
This is what Collector's Quest used to be. What are we at? Like an hour?
Yeah,
Yeah, look at
we're doing
that.
it.
Wow. Remember
Yeah,
this?
we did it. Let's move to the next part of the show. Let's answer a question.
Dork Overlord asks, if you could play couch co-op with any person, living or dead, who would it be and what would you play?
I would play with Tyler.
Yeah, I would probably play with Johnny or my wife. I mean, living or dead, like, I mean, I'd probably pick with someone, like, I don't even care what we play. I'd probably just pick someone interesting. Talk about something.
Yeah, the idea of, like, if it's someone especially interesting or that I want to talk to, what I don't want to, especially if they're not, like, an experienced video game player, I don't want to, like, burden them with a Nintendo control, something they're not, confident in or comfortable with, while I pepper them with questions.
But you know, if you brought back like Ben Franklin or something, like he would be into it. He'd be like, whoa, look at this technology. Let me tell you about being a founding father and French prostitutes.
It's like, what about my slaves? But also I loved my slave wife. Wait a minute. What?
Like, what's a big historical mystery that we could answer by bringing someone back, Johnny?
Like, I don't know. Marilyn Monroe. Killed
what?
You.
Could we like ask them like how they died and stuff?
Yeah, that's what we do. We what was that?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just bring people back. So anyone who was murdered, we could just be like, "Who killed you?"
Oh my god. Okay, so now I want to know.
I'm not here for the video games. I'm here to find out how they died.
Like JFK, did you see someone at the grassy knoll? I don't know. Jesus! We could bring back Jesus.
We could.
Oh my god, that would be like Revelations, right? That would be the second coming, and he would be there to play Bomberman 64 with me on the couch.
Okay, this is getting weirdly religious. And
okay, no, this is all right. My answer is definitely Jesus, because that brings about a whole point of different things, and then I would become like this really important religious figure.
Okay, I'm gonna keep. I don't want to be an important religious figure, so I'm just gonna keep my answer as Tyler.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have to work anymore. I mean, if I brought back Jesus, like they're not gonna make me work anymore. Like people will just give me food and housing for some reason for doing that, right?
I'm like, this is like weirdly religious, and you're like, let's keep hammering it. What are you doing?
I mean, that's the right answer. I'm sorry. If you wouldn't bring back Jesus, you're kind of a jerk.
No, I don't want to have this philosophical discussion with you.
Oh, do you want an easier question, Johnny?
No. Let's touch it for just a second. We went short. What if we brought back Jesus and then he didn't have any good answers, and then people lost a lot of faith? Like I don't want to be responsible for that either. That could be a nightmare.
I think people just wouldn't believe that we brought back Jesus in that case.
I mean,
like if we we bring back Jesus and we're like, yo, what up, Jesus? We speak English. And he would be like, what? I'm from the Middle East 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
We'd probably find someone to translate for us.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And he's a nice guy. He's not going to like panic and attack us. We'll just give him some food and chill out until we can get someone to translate. And like I assume he speaks like Hebrew or something. Like people still speak that. We could find someone.
Okay, but again, what if there was no good answers?
So that's the problem. Like, what if it turns out Jesus is just some guy, and he doesn't have anything cool to tell us?
Yeah, well, it's like what if we were those people? I'm not doing that to anyone.
Like, you know what? If we did that, so like you have all those like false prophet people that still get thousands of followers. Like, I could still become a religious figure if we brought back a fake Jesus, or a real Jesus that looks fake. Is really what we would bring back.
You want to be a religious idol?
I mean, it's probably better than tech support, right?
That's fair.
I mean, because like when I think of like religious figures that like it's a boring life of just like sitting in a monastery and helping people. But if I'm like the guy, I can make it whatever I want. I could be like, yeah. Every Friday we hang out, have pizza, and play like PlayStation 1 games. That's just what we're gonna do from now on. And people would be like, "Oh yeah, all right, this is a great religion."
Okay. Next question.
All right, here's a harder question. Lord Hardstyle Z asks, "What is your favorite color and why?"
I like a lot of colors, but my favorite colors are purple and orange.
Ooh, I'm a pretty big purple and orange fan, Johnny. Yeah, purple's probably my favorite color. It's the royal color, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's
Purple
really
is
nice.
my overall favorite color, and then I like orange as a secondary.
I don't think colors should be gendered, but my other favorite color was pink, but then like you get too much like bright pink stuff and it's just like too frilly and girly. Not that I hate frilly girly things, but it gets excessive. Whereas purple, it's like, oh, it's like a deeper color. It's nice to have a lot of purple.
I also like pink. I used to exclusively buy pink controllers because I just like the way they look.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, like in Magic, I used to always play with pink sleeves, but that was a theme. If you've never seen it, I don't think I ever showed you. I like have a custom lunchbox. It's not custom. It's a lunchbox for Fight Club that I got back in the day, and then like I put padding in it and put like some cases in it, so it's like where my limited cards go. Like my little deck box goes in there, a set of lands, some dice.
Johnny's talking about Magic the Gathering Limited, not like video games limited.
Yeah. So I take that with me when I go play Magic, and then, that's how I transport my stuff around. That's my Magic box. And I put pink sleeves in there so it would look like the soap. Anyways.
What? How did this have to do with colors?
Ask my favorite color. You said I also like pink. I buy a lot of pink controllers. Also, like a lot of my Magic sleeves I wind up buying as pink.
Oh, okay. I got a bunch of pink sleeves too. My box was, what was that? There was like that tin box. There was like that Deckmasters limited edition. Was it like Beatdown or something in there?
It was tin, or there was cardboard. There was a cardboard Beatdown box.
No, it wasn't it wasn't Beatdown because Beatdown came in a cardboard box. It was like this Deckmasters. It was almost like a dual decks thing, but probably from like the mid 2000s, early 2000s.
I'm not sure.
Know. Now I'm sure that box, if I had that stuff all still complete, is probably worth like $500 because
maybe
whatever. This is a short show, Johnny. I will give us another question.
Okay.
Lord Hardstyle Z now asks, actually, you know what? How would you describe the feeling of getting a collectible you really want? We all know how it feels for us on an individual level, but how does it feel for you? To provide an example, since my questions can be weird and confusing, when I win an auction, it feels like my stomach drops. Not in a bad way, but instead of walking on a continued surface, like suddenly falling without warning. Then when the item arrives and I unwrap it, it feels like my legs are naturally taunted. Like that moment before, taunted probably. Like the moment before the start of a race, but it's my body doing it without any conscious input. That exact moment of tension and build-up anticipation. I don't know how we could possibly describe these feelings in more specific detail than Lord Hardstyle Z just did.
I don't know either. Also, I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I don't feel that way either. I'm usually celebrating like a sports team win when I win an auction. A lot of times if I win an auction, it's way less than my top bid. Not because I bid crazy on every auction. I just think sometimes I go after just like weird stuff that no one's going to bid on. And you get the dopamine when I open it, but like getting the thing is not even as exciting as winning the thing to me. Because winning the thing is usually like a relief. If it's something I'm getting off like the top of my want list, it's like, oh my fucking God, thank God I can delete this saved search. And then just 100%. Getting it, it's like, all right, let's put it on the shelf.
You've captured my feelings exactly, Tyler.
Yeah.
Just like, thank God that is over. We can delete this and move on with our life now.
Although my other feeling I get, I love a buy it now, especially if an item was just listed within like the past 12 hours, and I see that like 7 people have started watching this auction. There is nothing that gives me more pleasure than buying it now for full price when everyone else was waiting to see if they could get it at a discount. I just, if it's like an item that just like doesn't come up, like a once a year, once every 2 years type of item, and like people are like, well, I wonder if maybe I can get it for $65 instead of $75. Man, I love clicking that buy it now button.
You did it. You got him.
Yeah, and then they're going to like wonder like, hey, I wonder whatever happened with that thing I watched. Oh, someone just bought it for full price. Now the next one I'm going to have to pay $20 more. Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, it always feels good to get like a deal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm numb. I've bought a lot of games, I guess, in my time.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want more? Or are we done? Done with questions? Moving on to what we bought, what we played?
Johnny, what are you buying? What are you playing?
Ooh, what am I playing? Well, Tyler, I played yesterday. You're never going to believe it, but I played Diablo.
Just
Are you
cut it
excited?
out.
Well, they
Ah,
just revamped everything, and it was my buddy just was asking me about it, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot. We'll try out the new thing for you. What did I buy? I bought not a whole lot because we were in Vegas and stuff, so there wasn't a lot of things to be buying. I bought pieces for games, so like I'm going through GameCube right now and like making sure all my stuff is complete for GameCube. So like, oh, I'm missing a manual, so there was like a random lot of manuals. I remembered I didn't have the Shaq Fu CD though, so I bought the Shaq Fu CD. That might be a nod to the LJN episode where they talked about Shaq Fu quite a bit. I was like, oh yeah, I don't have that Shaq Fu CD. I'm gonna go buy that. For those of you who don't know, Shaq Fu on the Genesis, if sealed, came with this Shaq Fu CD. There's a little sticker on the seal that says Shaq Fu CD inside, and it's just a cardboard sleeve, but it's not like one of the CD sized ones that you normally find like a CD in. This is more full size. So this is the size of a Genesis case. It says Shaq Fu, and it's got a CD in there. And it's not that expensive. It's like $15-20. You can find it. You can also buy sealed copies between like $50 and $100. So that's the way I should have done it, but I didn't want to spend more money on Shaq Fu.
you know, the LJM podcast really trashed Shaq Fu, but we're still talking about it. So you know what? Like, yeah,
It's
go get
engagement
that
farming.
CD. No, no one's thinking about Bases Loaded 2 and the contest insert that came with Bases Loaded 2. But people are still like, oh yeah, Shaq Fu. That's like one of the stupid games that everyone remembers, like Superman 64.
I'm not accusing them of engagement farming, but it's classic engagement farming strategy. If you guys aren't familiar with this concept, so you will say something intentionally stupid, wrong, incorrect, like in a post on social media to make 100,000 people click it and tell you you're stupid and wrong. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you've posted something and stupid and wrong. It's the important thing was all these people clicked on it. So they're the actual dummies. I just saw a video recently and it was like, baby has the cutest expression or some bullshit like that. My wife was showing me like, she's like, look at this. They like covered the baby's face though. I'm like, yeah. And like, and what are all the comments? I'm like, there's 100,000 comments. And what did they all say? Be nice if we could see the baby's face. I'm like, but they monetized that post and they made so much money from people viewing it and clicking this thing. So they did the like clickbait, here's a cute baby. And then they double whammied you with the engagement farming by doing something stupid on it. So if you see posts like this and you think people are intentionally stupid on the internet, yes, that's definitely a thing that happens. But also you might be being tricked. So be careful.
Johnny, I'm going to say, instead of listening to Shaq Fu to Return, which comes with Shaq Fu, I think it's a sampler of Shaq Fu to Return.
It's a promo CD.
Yeah. Go ahead and get yourself a copy of Shaq Diesel, which I'm sure is on Discogs for $1.49. And you can listen to a couple of Shaq's mediocre rap songs, like I'm Outstanding and I Know I Got Skills, Man. I Know I Got Skills.
Yeah. Oh, the last thing I bought, Tower, just to clear it up, is I bought the soundtrack for Batten Kaitos on the GameCube. There's a Toys R Us exclusive version of this that came with the soundtrack. It doesn't matter which version of Batten Kaitos you have, really. Not Origins, the original Batten Kaitos. It came with the CD packed on the back if you bought it from Toys R Us, but they were also partnered with Amazon. So I have this theory you could have got that from an Amazon sale as well, but I don't have any proof of that yet. So merely speculation. So
when I was buying up cheap GameCube games, I specifically avoided that variant because I wanted all my GameCube games to be uniform on a shelf, and that has the soundtrack sticking out. And I was wrong for doing that, probably.
Yeah, well,
I should have got the soundtrack one.
So, and there's nothing like on the front or anything. It's like literally just on the back, and it says Toys R Us, and it's like a CD. It's just like sitting on the back of the game. So if you just buy like a DVD game holder, you just put the game in there and slide the CD on the back, and it's just like a sealed copy. Woo! You've done it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what
Anything
I bought.
else?
What about you? Nope, that's me. What have you played besides slot machines?
I played some craps. We lost in craps.
We lost in
what
bubble
else did we
craps.
lose in? You lost in blackjack. Just a bunch of losing, really.
How much money did I lose, Tyler? I didn't even lose my money. I lost 20 of Tyler's dollars. I just made him pay $20. I just stole Tyler's money. I owe you $20.
Johnny, I have bought zero games since I bought Pokemon Project Studio Red version and Blue version a month ago. But I did buy, hold on, there's an exciting purchase in here. An automated simulations catalog from 1989.
Okay.
Which has the inserts including a questionnaire and the errata regarding lower reaches of Apshai. So this is a catalog from the company Automated Simulations that would have come in their baggy computer games from the late 70s before they were renamed to Epics. And so this catalog would come with early versions of Temple of Apshai and Invasion Orion, which are two maybe exciting games if you really care about really old computer games. Other than that, I don't even have the games this would go with. This is just a cool insert I got for the insert episode.
Nice.
Automated Simulations, the company everybody's talking about.
I'm talking about them right now with you. Okay, what'd you play? Just slot machines?
I've been in Las Vegas, so probably V-Rising a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to, let me get something. Was I playing anything? John, I'm not playing anything. V-Rising.
You didn't take a Switch or anything with you? You didn't take a video game console on your trip?
Johnny, you don't need to bring separate entertainment to Las Vegas. You could just walk downstairs and there's endless entertainment options for you. Just anywhere in Las Vegas.
What about at the airport?
That's the only place we won money on a slot machine, Johnny. We're up $62 on a Willy Wonka machine.
Now we won some money on the Rockets, but it was just after losing more elsewhere.
No, I don't know. I listen to audiobooks. I'm tired in the airport.
All right, fair enough. I'm just asking for the people, man. Just asking for the people.
They all really want to know what iPad games you're playing, Tyler.
Yeah.
Don't got one.
All right. Well, that's it. We did it, Tyler. We did a short episode. People will be shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked and appalled.
Oh, something wrong. Oh, CQ fell off.
Yeah, they're
an hour and 30 minutes.
We're the Chipotle of podcasts now.
Also, it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday, which is
God.
I'm never recording at this time. We're always going at the weirdest hours.
I know. We're just in the middle of the day and everything's reasonable. What is happening to this podcast?
Are we going through a healthy change? Is this good?
Do we sound like it's a healthy change right now?
I'm sorry to our trucker listeners who are just looking for endless rambling content.
They're still trying to get through the box episode. Anyways.
I can't believe how many people engaged with the box episode. People just talking about our box ratings and what the fuck, you gave Big Box PC a 2 for construction. What are you talking about? They're too big.
They're too big and they're too full of air.
They get dented easily. Come on.
I know people want to fight us, but I feel pretty good about our ratings. I think we were pretty objective. If you want to know where you can also tell us how dumb we are about the box rating and engage with that for some reason, our most commented on episode ever, I don't even understand it at all. You can do that by joining our Discord, by being a member of our Patreon at patreon.com/collectorsquest. So you can do that. It's $4. That's it. $4 get you into the Discord, get you the bonus content. Come hang out with us if you like. If not, just keep doing what you're doing. And I don't know, if you're feeling nice, maybe toss us a review on iTunes. But if not, whatever. We're going to keep doing what we do. Thanks so much for listening. You can find Tyler on Video Game Sage. You can find me there occasionally as well. And again, on Discord. Find us on Discord. That's where we are mostly. Everybody, have a nice day. Thank you to all the people who support us. That's it. We're done. Bye.